I worked as a blind massage therapist. Because I was good with my hands, I had a lot of regulars who booked private home sessions. The tips were always incredible. People tend to be generous when they think you can't see the life they're living. Then, one day, my sight suddenly returned. It was a miracle I couldn't explain. I thought about telling the world, but then I realized I was making 3 times more money than a sighted therapist. I decided to keep up the act, but that one choice led me into a memory that still haunts me to this day. My client for this session was a woman named Millie. She was in her early 30s and one of my most frequent regulars. I rang the bell of a sprawling high-end villa on the edge of the city. Back when I was truly blind, I just knew she lived in a quiet neighborhood and paid better than anyone else. Now that I could see, it was obvious she was swimming in cash. "Come on in," a woman's voice called out from inside as the door clicked open. I stepped inside and was immediately floored by what I saw. A woman with an incredibly refined face stood before me. She had long, wavy hair and wore a bold shade of red lipstick that matched her nails. She was wearing nothing but a thin, pale pink silk nightgown. When I was blind, I could tell she had a small frame, and I always pictured her as a delicate, petite girl. The reality was the exact opposite. She was truly stunning. "It's just you. Hurry up and get inside," Millie said, grabbing my arm. She turned and headed toward the living room sofa without a second thought. I faked it, tapping my white cane on the floor as I followed her, moving with that hesitant, practiced gait. Behind the living room, there was a lush backyard surrounded by a massive stone wall. Near the glass doors, a professional massage table was already set up. Before I could reach the table, I spotted movement on the stairs. A young guy in his early 20s was creeping down from the second floor. He was wearing nothing but a white bathrobe, his chest bare. He wasn't wearing shoes, probably so I wouldn't hear him. He blew a kiss to Millie and made a few suggestive gestures. Then, he slipped out the back door. I kept my face neutral, but my eyes drifted to a framed photo on the wall. It was a wedding picture of Millie and a man who had to be at least 60 years old. She was cheating on her husband right under his nose. But then again, she was in the prime of her life. That older man probably couldn't keep up with her. I walked toward the table, using my cane to feel the furniture around me. "Where are we focusing today, Millie?" Millie walked over and took my hand. "Follow me." Her voice sounded exhausted, yet there was a strange, lingering trace of satisfaction in it. As she got closer, the scent of her perfume and the heat of her skin hit me. She led me to the table and let her nightgown slide off her shoulders before lying face down. "Let's get started. I have a meeting later this afternoon," she muttered. The view in front of me made my heart skip a beat. I had to remind myself of my professional role. I forced myself to focus, opened the bottle of essential oil, and began the session. The moment my hands touched her skin, a low moan escaped her lips. She seemed to realize how it sounded and quickly apologized. "Sorry about that. I was just so exhausted from yesterday." I chuckled softly. I was worried I was being too rough already. Millie turned her head slightly to look back at me. "Actually, I want you to go harder. I really need to let go of some tension." "I'll do my best. Just tell me if it's too much." "By the way, have you been having trouble sleeping lately?" I asked, working the muscles in her shoulders. "How did you know?" she asked, her voice tight as she tried to stifle another sound. "I can feel it in your pressure points. Your energy flow is completely blocked." I pressed down on a specific spot on her neck. Her entire body jolted and another muffled groan left her throat. "I'm so sorry. Did I hurt you?" Millie looked like she was in heaven. No, don't stop. Keep doing exactly that. You're the only one who actually knows what they're doing. Other therapists just go through the motions. Is there any way to fix this insomnia? I haven't had a good night's rest in days," she asked, biting her lower lip. "It's possible, but I'd need to deep tissue your neck and back. It's going to be pretty intense, and I'm not sure you can handle the pain." Based on what I was feeling, her body was truly reaching a breaking point. Her blood flow was restricted by years of stress and bad posture. If she didn't fix it, she was going to end up in the hospital. Millie didn't hesitate. "It's fine. Do whatever you have to do. I can take it." She shifted her position on the table to give me better access. I stopped holding back. I opened a fresh bottle of oil, coated my hands, and began a standard deep tissue routine on her neck. At first, Millie didn't react much. She was clearly trying to stay composed. That changed when I hit the base of her neck. I felt a massive, hard knot right over her spine. The moment I applied pressure, she let out a sharp gasp. "Right there. It's so sore. It's like a throbbing pain." Now that I'd found the source of the blockage, I used both thumbs to pin the knot and slowly work the tension outward. After about 2 minutes, beads of sweat began to glisten on her neck and shoulders. Once I finished the set of movements, I knew the job was done for the day. "All set, Millie. We're finished for today." "Already?" she asked, rolling over. Her eyes were watery and seemed to be searching for something more. I didn't dare look at her for too long. I grabbed a towel to wipe my face and pretended everything was normal. "About the insomnia, you really need to take care of yourself. Don't overwork your body. This massage is just a temporary fix. You're sweet to care," she said. She stood up, a cloud of expensive perfume following her as she headed toward the stairs. "I feel all sticky from the oil. I'm going to go upstairs and jump in the shower. You look like you're sweating too. If you're uncomfortable, you should come up and wash off with me." My heart hammered against my ribs at the blatant invitation. I was supposed to be blind. If I got too close to her in a shower, there was a 0% chance I could keep the secret. Was she testing me? I couldn't tell. Most women are hesitant about male therapists, but the blind part usually makes them feel safe. Combine that with the fact that I wasn't exactly ugly, and I was quite popular with the female clientele. Millie wasn't my first client to be friendly, but she was definitely definitely the boldest. I thought about it for 3 seconds before deciding to decline. If the spa found out I was getting intimate with clients, I'd be fired. If Millie found out I was faking my blindness, I'd be sued, or worse. I'd love to, but the shop is slammed today. I can't stay away for too long. I lied, packing my bag. I said my goodbyes and practically ran out of that villa. I worked until well past midnight, back at the clinic, before finally heading to my small apartment. I had just finished my own shower and was ready to pass out when my phone buzzed on the nightstand. It was Millie. Why was she calling this late? I hesitated, then hit the green button. Hello? Why did it take you so long to pick up? Her sultry, lazy voice drifted through the speaker. Sorry, Millie. I was just getting into bed. It took me a minute to find the phone. You know how it is for me. Is everything okay? Ugh, it's the same old problem. That massage helped for a while, but now that it's night, I can't sleep. Can you come over right now and work on me again? Millie was gorgeous, and her vibe was top tier. She was better looking than most celebrities on TV. Any man would dream of a woman like her, and I was no exception. But I knew my place. Women like Millie were dangerous for guys like me. Millie, it's the middle of the night. It's probably not a good idea, I stammered. Don't worry about that. Just grab an Uber. I'll make it worth your while. I'll pay you double. Since she put it that way, I couldn't really say no. I was doing this job for the money after all, and Millie was a goldmine. I agreed, got dressed, and headed back to the villa. I had no idea that this single decision was about to lead me down a path of no return.